Welcome everyone to a new Rate the Track, and this time we are going back to the PS1 again for Tekken 2, as this was actually the first in the Tekken series I would personally own, though I did play a little bit here and there of the first game, though I would end up getting it a little later, but Tekken 2 was the first Tekken game I really decided to go out of my way to actually get the game. And so Tekken 2 has a much heavier amount of nostalgia and bias for me between the characters, the stages, and especially improved on the music and definitely improvement also on the characters. Specifically, this would be the introduction, my first time playing characters like Heihachi, as well as this would be the game that I would first get into actually playing with King and also Yoshimitsu and a few others here and there. But with that said, definitely King was probably my first main in Tekken 2, and off and on to this day remains one of my mains, funny enough. But with that said, let's get to it. Track 1, starting out with Fighter Select theme, the original music, so enjoy and trip down memory lane. Remember again, this is based on a scale of 1 to 10. Overall, it's not too bad. The music, it's not the greatest, but it's an improvement over the first game. I give the character select music of Tekken 2, I give it a 4.5 out of 10. It is definitely an improvement from the first game, which I think I gave like a 2. So yeah, 4.5. Except Michelle. You can start hearing definitely a sound upgrade in the quality of the audio production and design of Tekken 2 compared to Tekken 1. Of course, they helped the first Tekken game would become successful. It would sell over 1 million copies. Tekken 2, however, would go on to sell almost 5 million, which is quite impressive. But I give Michelle's track, I'm going to give hers probably a 5 out of 10. Lei Wulong, not the biggest fan of the music of his on this specific soundtrack. I have to give Lei Wulong's, yeah, I'm gonna give it probably a 4 out of 10. Okay, I'll upgrade it to a 4.5 out of 10. As it goes on, it gets better at least. Next up, martial law. Probably my least, for the most part, probably about my least favorite law. Which I give this about an even 4 out of 10. But here we go. This is one of the big ones for me personally. My word, the build-up with the stage and the chapel and everything. It perfect pick for King, in my opinion. This is a blast of nostalgia right now for me. For some people, maybe not, but for me, I have to give this, honestly, I give this track an 8 out of 10. Admittedly, it is a lot of blind nostalgia as a long-time King player going on over 20 years as a King player. Yeah, this holds a very special place for me personally. So yeah, gets an 8 out of 10, and whatever. Except June, Kazuma. Another one of the better tracks, I think. But this specific version, I think I'm gonna have to give it maybe a 5 out of 10. Next up, sorry, I'm not feeling it, this one. I give it like a 3.5. Ah, yes. It's been a while since I've heard a few of these tracks like this one. I'm leaning probably between around a 4.5 to a 5. Yes. The original version of Yoshimitsu in this game. For this specific Yoshi track, I give it about 4.5. Or I might upgrade to a 5. I definitely like the addition with the classic flutes. Was a nice touch. Definitely around a probably 4 out of 10. About I'll give it a 4.5 out of 10. I'm leaning around maybe a 4.5 to a 5 on this one. Then Heihachi. Sorry, but as far as we're talking of Heihachi themes, this is like a 4 out of 10. I'm sorry, Heihachi. Yes. This specific version of the track, I'll give this about maybe a 6 out of 10. And as endings go, I'll give it down the middle a 5 out of 10. However, now this was the console version of Tekken 2, like main theme, character theme. I give this version theme actually probably about a 6.5 out of 10, a 6.5 out of 10. It's definitely an upgrade. Here we go. Now this redone version of Michelle, I actually have to give probably a 7 out of 10 to this version of Michelle's theme. It's actually legit great. Actually, heck, I'll upgrade to a 7.5 out of 10. I have to give this probably around, yeah, I give this about an even 7 out of 10. It is actually really good. Here we go. The redone martial law theme, sadly, still, I'll give it about a 6 to a 6.5. Yeah, make an even 6 out of 10. But dang, this version of Keen's theme is even better. I'm sorry, I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. That's how much I love this freaking theme. It is, in my opinion, iconic, and it deserves to be among the elites of tracks and stuff among the Tekken franchise as a whole. I feel this song deserves way more love than it gets, as it is S tier for me of old school Tekken. It fits the character, the stage, and everything perfectly. Here we go. Now, this is a far superior version of Jun Kazuma's theme. I have to give this version of Jun's theme gets a 7 out of 10 for me, to possibly a 7.5. It's definitely up there. Yes. I'll give this one probably around a 6 out of 10. It does, I give it points, at least it has a much better build up in my opinion. However, this gets a middle of the road 5 out of 10. Now this is a far better version theme for Paul. It suits the character much better. I'll give this version of Paul's theme, I give it probably about, I'm leaning somewhere between, yeah, I'll give it around like a 7 even out of 10. It is solid and good. Just a little better overall though. I'll give this also probably around 4.5 out of 10 to a 5. Much better. I'll give this version of the thing probably between around 6.5 out of 10. Oh man, here we go. This does have a great ominous feel to it, and it fits Kazuya in the game perfectly. Honestly, I have to give it probably an 8 out of 10. It is perfect on the ominous feel, like the just emotion, the environment, everything about it. This is a underrated track. Yes, the big final theme, of course, for Devil. I'm gonna have to give this probably around 7 out of 10. It is good, but I think actually Kazuya's theme is a little better than Devil's. But still is interesting idea. They try to go with a more sad sounding theme rather than ominous, unlike Kazuya's was a lot more ominous. So for me, this just doesn't feel proper for a character like Devil. I actually think Kazuya's theme is a little better. But with that said, yeah, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It is an overall very good quality, especially in the audio department. Now with that said, 6 out of 10. Or 5, around that. 5 out of 10, not the greatest. But with that said, that is it for this time. Rate the track for Tekken 2. Stay tuned next time for Tekken 3, which it gets, I think, at least in some areas, even better. With specific characters. Though, like I said, there are definitely highs on this game specifically, especially like King's theme, Kazuya's theme, Jun's theme, specifically the console version, but King had a good theme regardless of arcade or console. But with that said, stay safe and I'll see y'all next time.